All right, in this video we are solving an equation by completing the square. Lots of steps. If you do it step by step though, it's not too big of a deal. This was actually one of the easiest ones we can do, this particular problem. I'll tell you why as we go. Solve by completing the square. X squared plus 8x plus 12 equals 0. Step number 1, divide by a to make it equal 1. In this case, a is already 1, so that step is done for us already. Again, this is one of the easier problems. Step 2, get x squared and x by themselves. In other words, most of the time that'll mean moving the c value. So we want to subtract 12 in this case from both sides of the equation, giving me x squared plus 8x equals negative 12. Okay. Now we are trying to complete the square, so we want to make the left side into a perfect square trinomial, and we use the formula b divided by 2 squared to do that. So we take our 8 divided by 2 squared. 8 divided by 2 is 4. Squared is 16. That's step 3. Once we get the result, you add that number to both sides of your equation. So now I have x squared plus 8x equals negative 12, and I'm going to add my 16 to both sides of that equation. So plus 16 so that they stay equal. All right, now this side of the equation is a perfect square trinomial. So we have a shortcut for factoring that. We're going to take the square root of the first term. That'll give me my x. The square root of the last term will give me 4, middle sign, squared, and we just simplify. Negative 12 and positive 16 gives me positive 4. Okay. Another thing that makes this problem easier is when we use our formula, we get a whole number rather than a fraction. When it's a fraction, it gets a little bit more messy. Not impossible, but not as much fun. All right. Step 6, take the square root of both sides of the equation. Square root and square root. Our result will be x plus 4, because when we take a square root of a perfect square, we're left with what was underneath the square. Now square root of 4 gives me plus or minus 2. This is very important right here, plus or minus 2, because positive 2 squared is 4, but negative 2 squared is also 4. And that's actually what makes this problem a little bit easier too, because this is a perfect square here. All right, simplify the square root. I guess I did that step already. Simplify that square root. All right, step 8, add or subtract to get the x by itself. That means this 4 here. I want to subtract 4 to get the x by itself. I'm left with x equals negative 4 plus or minus 2. Split the plus or minus. So we need our two equations. X equals negative 4 plus 2, or x equals negative 4 minus 2. And our last step, simplify both of those. So x equals -4 plus 2 is -2. -4 minus 2 is -6. And those are our two answers.